Church, I hope you're enjoying these small group videos. Our goal in creating them in these unique locations is to cause them to come to life and be more real inside of small groups and for your discussion. In this week's message, we talked about the parables of the kingdom of God being like a field that you find great value in. We talked through the parable of the pearl of great price. And so what better place to make this week's video than in this field that God has given us for the future of Faith Church. The miracles that we've seen God do, I believe, are just the beginning of the things that are to come, the miracles that are to come. You know, this raw dirt represents an investment that we've made as a church into the kingdom of God, into souls being saved, into families growing stronger. And so I'm excited about the day that we will worship here, but I'm also thankful and content exactly where God has us today. And so standing on this land, I just want to say thank you for those that have joined the Beyond journey and for those that will in the future. Let's jump in to this week's message, back into this week's parable. Matthew 13, verse 44 through 46 says, "Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant in search of fine pearls, who on finding one pearl of great value went and sold all that he had and bought it." Jesus continues to unfold the secrets of the kingdom of heaven all throughout Matthew 13, but especially in this story. But in a lot of ways, he changes direction in Matthew 13 in these two parables. He's been giving parables around how the kingdom of God is slow and it's about consistent growth. Also how the kingdom of God is not able to be received by all. Not everyone will hear, not everyone will understand, not everyone will believe. But with the parables of the hidden treasure and the pearl of great price, Jesus now turns to those who can see it. And he tells them that it is the most precious thing they could ever grasp. And the opportunity they have to possess it, that they should be willing to give all they have, lay every pursuit aside, to know it, grow in it, and be a part of it. Jesus is conveying the powerful worth of the kingdom. You know, commenting on the parable of the hidden treasure, the great commentator Matthew Henry writes of the kingdom, "Those who discern this treasure in the field and value it right will never be at ease until they make it their own." Here's the question we have to ask. Are we too casual with the kingdom? Are the principles it calls us to live by, do we see them as pearls or do we see them as options? Jesus uses examples in these two parables to which those that are listening can easily relate. Given the potential for political instability and invasions, the non-existence of safety deposit boxes, ancient Jews often buried their valuables in fields. Sometimes when they passed away, people would come upon those treasures. It was a once-in-a-lifetime event. That such a treasure is found indicates the kingdom's worth, its rarity. Pearls also were more valuable in first century Palestine than diamonds. And so these parables teach us primarily how we must value Jesus, the teachings of Jesus. Yet they also tell us about the people our Redeemer saves. As with the man in the field, sometimes people stumble upon Christ. They're not looking for him. Others are on a spiritual journey pursuing Jesus and they find him, just as the costly pearl. God's grace calls to all, those who are searching, those who are apathetic. John Calvin says that we need the teaching of the pearl of great price because if we're not careful, we become so captivated by the allurements of the world that the eternal fades from our view. Where this practically calls us to examine how we live is what we invest in with our money, with our time, with our energy. Think about these two acronyms I'm going to put on the screen. We definitely pursue ROI. We want a return on our investments. But do we think enough about EROI, eternal return on investment? Because here's what's not eternal: money and possessions, status, power, where we fit in the ladder. Even education and knowledge is not eternal. Our legacy, for that matter, is only eternal in the way it connects to those things which matter for eternity. My name, what people think about me, is really not eternal. What's eternal about my name, your name, are those who bear your name. And so what's eternal? What's a part of the kingdom? What should I be investing in? My relationship with God. Where does that stand? My family, my church, the thing that carries out the mission and the message of Jesus. How can you and I grow in investing and not think about investing just financially, which it is, but how do I invest my time? How do I invest my energy? How do I invest the things that are limited to me, my limited resources, in things that carry unlimited blessing? What are we talking about? Again, family, relationships, my church, my relationship with God. So I want you to discuss this tonight. I want us to talk about how we can take action. I'm going to put some questions on the screen for you to discuss. And I just want to encourage you, as we lean into the kingdom, as we learn more about Jesus, buy the field. Go all in, right? Don't just visit. Take ownership. Possess the promises of the kingdom.